Good evening, everybody. Welcome to FMA Discussion. This is episode 336, and tonight we have Celina Duffy on. We have a bunch of videos, her journey, and all that, so we have a lot to cover. So if you're watching, please tell us where you're watching from. Smash that like button. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section there, and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. If they are not really into the flow of the conversation, I will make a point to mark them and then get to them. So please just try to keep that in mind as far as the flow. All right, without further ado, I will be bringing up Guro Celina. I just need to, there we go. Hey there, how are you?
Oh, fine. How are you?
Good. So a lot to cover tonight. Before we get into the FMA content and all that, you got some videos, and we're going to be showing. We got Felix. Brandon sent me one.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think I have one. Got a picture or two, and then I have one of you doing a demo. But anyway, So we'll get to those. Okay. But just before we do, you got some history as far as your family is concerned, kind of World War II and what have you. So let's hear about that first.
Yes, well, I come from a military background. One of my grandfathers, he was in the Philippine Scouts, and he was a Bataan Death March survivor. And then the other grandpa was in the in the U.S. Navy. That's how he came to the States. And then his father actually was in the Navy as well, and worked in the sugarcane fields in Hawaii in the 1920s. That's how he came to the United States. And then, lots of cousins and uncles in the military. And my grand uncle is Jose Calugas. He was a Medal of Honor recipient in World War II.
Oh, wow. And the death march. Oh, man.
Yes. My grandpa ended up escaping somehow. So he survived that and
Thank God.
to the U.S. via the Army. After he was a Philippine Scout, then he joined the U.S. Army.
Okay. Jeez. So at least he escaped. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, statistically, it was 5-1. As far as I think as far as like who they were killing, yeah, bad stuff. So what got you in FMA? What was your first exposure? Was it your uncle?
Yes, it was my uncle. Way back when, he always tried to get me into the Filipino martial arts, but I was kind of shied away from that a little bit. My thing was I did a lot of sports back in high school. So I did like 4 years of volleyball and 4 years of basketball, 4 years of softball. But then eventually, later on, I started to connect with my uncle as an artist, because I'm an artist as well. And he was actually one of the first Filipino muralists in Los Angeles here. He did some Filipino murals. So I started connecting with him through art, like I said, and then he just started to show me Filipino martial arts, what he's learned, and from the style that he was taught. And then, but it was very harsh in the beginning, the techniques and everything. It was. I guess it hurt a lot. So anyway, because he's very old school. So he doesn't do like the curriculum and Western type learning. He just he shows me things, and I mean, it was very foreign to me. So it hurt a lot in the beginning. So anyway, he ended up being an advisor in historic Filipino town for search to in a place called Search to Involve Filipino Americans. And he was advisor for a Lameco group under Guro Bud, Guro Arnold, and Guro Dino. And then, so my first he told me it was a women's self-defense class. So that's how I kind of like, okay, I'll join and I'll go, but I'm not going to promise you I'm going to continue, but I'll,
Yeah.
I'll go to the first class at least. So then after that, it was just amazing. And I just loved, learning Kali. And then so my foundation was actually Lameco, through, like I said, the Guros. And yeah, that's my start anyway.
So what as far as what your uncle was showing you, what system was that from?
He does the Jack Santos method. He was a student under Jack Santos.
Okay, so because one of the questions that came in, like what I mean, from what you could tell us, what is basically the Jack Santos system? What are they known for, or what have you?
Well, it's just in his words and what I've seen too. It's just a very direct method. It's very combative, and in a because it is just very direct, like direct. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, just very direct movements.
Was it primarily blunt weapon translation, or was there edge weapons as well?
Oh, everything. Yeah, edge.
Okay.
Uh, Sticks, daggers. Short sticks. Everything.
So it
Yes.
sounds like what he was giving you wasn't necessarily codified or syllabus per se. So was it pretty random, what he was doing?
Yes, it was pretty random. I guess in all of my dealings with him over the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years or something, he sees what you're missing and that's what he focuses on. So it could be
Mhm.
disarm sometimes, it could be, double stick, it could be, single stick, could just be blade, whatever you need at the time. Could be footwork. Sometimes we work on that, or just empty hands. So
Interesting. So, because I've always heard the name Jack Santos, I just didn't investigate it enough as far as like what he really focused on or what he was really known for, or if there's any current students to this day that are kind of repping, or instructors, I should say, as far as repping him or what have you. I just don't hear much about it,
yes, I mean it was very. My uncle was very. I guess that's very near and dear to his heart, and so he's very coveted about that. So he doesn't really share it a lot with others. It's something that he's kind of kept to himself, and I guess that's why it hasn't been widely seen or
Mm,
anything.
yeah,
But yes,
no.
I know that he. I think we talked about this the other day, but he was Guru Dan Inosanto's, like, I guess, advisor. Um,
So okay, all right.
yes,
Wow. So
he's like very old school. Old school.
well, I mean, if he was,
Yeah.
yeah, if he was Dan's advisor, I mean, he had to be somebody. Was he? So was he located in the LA area?
Yes, he was located in the LA area, but and he's actually part of the Screen Actors Guild. So he was a actor as well. He was in, gosh, like Tarzan. I think there was it Tarzan? Uh, um, gosh, there's a ton of movies if you research him. He's in a ton of
Yeah.
Hollywood movies.
Awesome, awesome. So you're training with him. What prompted him to basically introduce you to the backyard Lameco guys?
I don't know how they got together, but like I said, he really wanted me to train martial arts from the beginning. Well, he wanted any family member really to,
Mm.
um, you know, to pass the art along to. But um, he just, um, what was it? What was the question? Sorry, he just introduced me to.
Like I mean, just you're training with him individually. What prompted him, I guess, to introduce you to the backyard Lameco guys?
Yes, well, because he thought maybe it was better for me to do more like of a systematic foundation. So, you have the 12 strikes, that, all
Mm.
those kinds of things. Because what I was learning from him was like we talked about, a little bit more random, and just whatever I needed, we'd do that. So I think he just wanted me to learn, that an art that was maybe that had a little bit more of a, I guess, curriculum. I mean, we had the footwork, the 12 strikes, the all of that stuff, and that was an amazing system. I mean, it pulled in a lot of different kind of grandmasters to formulate that art. The Lameco, Wagro, Medio, Koto systems.
I just think it's such a shame. I just think it's one of the better systems out there.
Oh, yes.
They separate stick from edge. Edgar was a genius in his own right, and it's just sad that there's only, I can count on one hand who's, from what I know from doing the show, for the most part, they're actually propagating and teaching it. So out of the 25 backyard guys, you got like 5 of them that are doing it. You know what I mean? And I think what a lot of people don't understand is, if you went to seminars with Edgar, whether it was Rick Tucci's or, whatever, you got the seminar curriculum. I mean, the backyard guys, that was a whole different, ball wax. And I don't, so it's just too bad it's just not being, I don't know, more and more, and I get it. And I hate to say it, I think it's going to be one of the systems, sadly, and unfortunately, in a decade or so, I don't know where it's going to land. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody really pushing it, I hope I'm wrong, but
I hope it continues. I mean, it's an amazing system. I think Guro Roger is
he's active. He's very active.
Yes.
David Gold, Roger Dino,
yes,
Longavia.
Yes.
And I think there's somebody in Europe, and outside of that, I don't know. I mean, because a lot of those guys, what they did was from the backyard. Unfortunately, when PJ Edgar passed, they all kind of just, went their own way, did their own thing. You know what I mean? Yes. Steve Brody didn't really, he it's kind of blended in here. He doesn't teach us separately. Mark Denny put it in the Dog Brothers, but he doesn't teach us separately, and so so when you went to them and all that, I mean, that had to be, you're coming into a structured system per se. Yes. So what'd you think of it, the initial experience with them?
I loved it. It was amazing. I mean, it was broken down. We actually had written tests, who are the founders of so-and-so. And, we had written tests every, I forget when, but every week. And I forget how it was broken down, but it was either orders or something. And then, certificates were given at the end. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it was a great initial experience. I really enjoyed it.
So just as far as time frame, what year was this when you first got introduced to them?
That was probably 1999, 2000.
1999, 2000. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, gosh, right. Yeah. So post Edgar. Okay. Yeah. So, because it's funny, like, it sounds like a group of them kind of stuck together, and that sounds like it was Bud Bellani. I'm not sure. Felix, I'm not sure.
No, I started to train after I stopped training with them. Then I met Master Ricketts, and then also I started training with Guro Felix, like separately.
So how many years did you train with the group there then? The original?
Maybe a few years, like 2 or 3 years, I'm thinking. My memories. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly enough to where you got the gist of the system. And
oh yes.
Yeah. Yes. So from there, I guess, what led you to Guro Felix?
I don't know how we got in contact with each other, but maybe I saw him at some event or something, and I loved the way he moved and the way he was such an expert with the blade. I probably just contacted him and asked, to train. So yeah, then we started training a lot, like did a ton of privates, like all the time. And then he'd take me to, all the different seminars he was teaching. I was his uke, and yeah, it was really fun. It's fun time.
So glad we got him on here before he passed. I didn't realize, like, he told me he had some stuff going on. I just didn't realize to the magnitude he had going on. And I think I don't know how many months later, but he passed. Just really sad, just sad, And here's a pic of you guys.
Oh yes,
Yeah, Bastillo.
yes. That's when we taught at his gym. Yeah, he brought me to help him. So that was a good time.
Yeah, I bet. RIP to both of them.
Yes, it just seems like them passed way too quickly.
Yeah, especially Guro Felix. Way too early. So you sent me some vids. So while we're on, what was it? I guess before I showed the vids, what was the difference that you found? With Bud Balani and them, and then you go train with Felix. Was there different in their methodology or their approach to the system as a whole?
I mean, there's a lot of the similar structure, but like Guro Felix, I mean, he was just such a like intense fighter. Like just he was very not that the others weren't, but he was just such an intense person, and after every class, I think it's just like the Lameco group too, like it's sparring, just always sparring. But I think he really just focused on blade, like knives. I believe he worked for Cold Steel before too, and he was just out. He was known for his knife fighting, so I think that was the main difference.
Well, here, let's pull up. I know you sent me some vids.
Yes.
So I'm going to pull up one now, and we'll check it out. Here, just bear with me here. All right. There you go. Here it is. This is kind of, so the whole thing with it, I tell you, I think the knife, as far as how Lameco approaches it, I think is one of the best systems.
Yes.
What I've seen, it's just especially knife on knife, and really good stuff. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pull it up. All right. Push the stage in. All right, where is it? I got so many boxes down here. There we go. All right.
Okay.
So push up. Boom. Boom. Nice. Straight. You. That was it. Nice. Whatever you do right, you have to hold you up left. Oh, okay. That's the difference. Okay. It's the same thing. Your mind just has to be open. 1, 2. Ooh. Nice.
Awesome. There was that, and then you had, I think you also sent, you're doing some, I think it was double stick. There was one that I really liked. You do a 1, he does a hand evasion, and then you're coming back up with Aldous into number 12. I thought that was, really neat. What he showed there, as far as a counter, what have you. And I'm just gotta find which one that is. So bear with me, folks.
I don't know. That's either the single stick or the double stick. But
yeah, I'm trying to. Here, just gonna have to, because I'm pulling them from your messenger.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't send them earlier. I think I literally sent them to you like 10 minutes before we went on.
We'll make it work. No worries. It's just gonna be
these ones are just all in preparation. Sparring.
Luck out. I found it.
Oh, yay.
All right. Yeah, this one I really enjoyed. I thought just that whole aspect is what that's why Omega is just such a great system. Um,
Yes.
it's just stuff like this, which I'm going to show right now that they cover. All right, hopefully that echo will go away. All right, folks, this is a good one. Check it out. Mm, mm.
Oh yeah, stick timing.
Nice. Okay. Okay, now 1, 2, 3. Try that.
One.
Yeah, so bottom. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Let's see it.
Because a person will go one original point. So study, get to know your person's habits. That's why. Because I can tell you apart if you find out this through like just movies in 30 seconds. That's why they don't like me because I know where to find a post from. I know, oh, he's a student. That's why. Yeah, exactly. People slowly acting, push forward. The body hollows out. Does this, Those are habits.
You're probably getting flashbacks, huh?
I rarely do this, I rarely do this.
Yeah,
That's my whole body.
that's what I love about that system. They're like they do their isolations, like just what I've gotten from like David Gould and like they're so concise in what they do based on the attacks, um, the spatial relationship. You do it as much as you need to do to evade the threat, and it's just really great stuff in there.
Yeah,
So
on that one, he really just emphasized like knowing your opponent. So he really studies like when he's going up or fighting against some other guys, he knows all their habits and what they like and they don't like, what they lean towards or not lean towards, and so he can use that to benefit his fighting. So he really studies like who he's fighting.
such a great, again, I think it's just one of the most undervalued systems, just and it's just too bad. It's I hate to see it fall by. Hopefully I'm wrong, that doesn't fall by the wayside, but I hope it picks up. I don't know.
There's also a group, they called me maybe 2 or 3 weekends, well, even more, maybe 4 weekends ago. There's a group that gets together for Guro Felix. They go to, I forget, not Highland Park, it's another, it's just around here, but I went there and we train a little bit, all the stuff that he's kind of showed us. So they've done that more regularly, but I've shown up a couple times, and so it's nice. So hopefully, they'll continue that as well.
Yeah, is that John?
I think so. Yes.
Jonathan. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a good guy, John.
Oh yes, he's great.
Yeah. So how long did you? So would you start early 2000s with him or so, or?
Yes, I think more mid 2000s with him. Okay. Yeah, mid or late 2000s.
And you trained, and how long did you continue with him?
Gosh, for a few years too.
So
yeah. The thing is with me, it's just very interesting. Like my uncle always encouraged me to just train with a ton of people and a ton of different systems. So my main thing that I love is Filipino martial arts, but I also do a lot of like Chinese and Japanese based arts too, a lot of internal arts and everything. So using all of that to help my Filipino martial arts. So
the internal aspect, okay.
Yeah, the internal aspect. So yeah, as far as teachers, like I train with them like intensely, sometimes for a while, and then I go and do other things, and they do other things, and then sometimes I see them years later, and then we reconnect and train again, but yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So then, I guess next stop, was it GM Ricketts?
Yes, I think he was a little bit before Guro Felix.
Actually,
I believe I met him in 2005. 2000,
so
yeah, 2005, right
San
before.
Diego.
I'm
So
sorry.
you went down to you drove down to San Diego?
Yes, that was my. I trained at his parents' house in San Diego. Um, yeah, it was wonderful. The first meeting with him, I just remember receiving this little a paper of like the things he was going to teach me. I think I don't know, it was maybe a list of like
You
one
know,
or eight items. So.
what's interesting is he was supposed to take over Lameco.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't quote me on this, but he, while Dan and Asano was the president,
Yes.
I think PG Edgar wanted,
Oh, yeah.
if memory serves me correctly, and I hope I'm not, bastardizing the story, but I think he had GM Ricketts next, in, as far as the hierarchy is concerned, and because I know he was extremely, I mean, GPG Edgar, really developed a lot of Mako with GM Ricketts. I mean, that much I know for a fact from David and all that, but I think, that was one of it why the Suns were in the Navy and all that. But I know GM Ricketts really wanted to concentrate on KI and promoting that in the States. And, certainly understand that. But Brandon is here. I think he's here.
Yeah, I saw him.
We got Guru Ace, Eric O'Brien from Florida, Facebook user. I'm going to guess that's Paul. We got we got Guru Brandon, we got Maestro Alvin, and we got Guru Robert Small. All right. Yeah. So now when you're going to see him, obviously you're kind of changing lanes because you were kind of for the most part in the Mako lane, and now you're pretty much KI, right?
Yes. Well, I believe that is part of one part of Lameco too. So,
KI,
yeah. So I maybe took one of those branches and then just started to train under Pauline Estrissimo with
So what you like about it that in Lameco, I mean, there's definitely the majority of the edge weapon component in Lameco is KI. Piquia Turgid has some to fill in the gaps, but predominantly it's KI. So here you are, you're going to GM Ricketts and you're getting just solely KI. What resonated with you? Did you really enjoy just getting that individually?
Yes, I love that. Well, I mean, aside from him as a person, he's just always so like warm and friendly, always joking and everything. So it was always a fun time training with him. But aside from that, I loved Pauline Estrissimo because of the the flow aspect of it, and just also the bladed aspect of it. Everything is like just blade, and so it was really amazing. And also too, he always made me fight after every session, or sometimes I'd spend the day with him, and we'd go to different areas and different places to train with different people, but I'd always have to spar each of the groups or each of the people like the whole day. So it's all about just like developing your timing and range and everything through sparring too. And so I just remember one time we went to Griffith Park, and he met this other person to train, and he's a bigger guy, and I just remember him saying like, hit her, like, don't treat her like a girl, just hit her. It's like, no, I'm a girl. so yeah, yeah, he just and I get it, it just he just wanted, I guess, for me to be tougher too, and like the more you spar, the more you learn. So as many opportunities as I had, I mean, yeah, like I said, everywhere I went, he just encouraged me to spar everyone. Very scary, but it was fun.
So did you see any differences, the KI and Lameco, the way you were getting it versus what you were getting from GM Ricketts? Did you see differences as far as the approach?
Yes, well, Master Ricketts also included a lot of boxing. So, like for cardio for me, and for, but then also Guro Felix did a lot of boxing too, like just to work on timing and everything. But that's what I remember a lot. Like would he would teach me how to box, you know, just all these movements to kind of yeah, work on my timing and distance and range. Also, I mean, it's just um, I really love like the one-on-one aspect of it. I mean, with Lameco, you know, it was a set of drills, and sometimes it's like with the whole class, and so you know you're drilling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those things, and then you also spar too, and you know work together with a classmate or something. I guess after Lameco, that was the only kind of group class that I did. Then everything else was just all private training. But with Master Ricketts, I just really love like the one-on-one and just tweaking your movements and refining your movements just right there all the time. You know, just
Yeah, right there to observe you. And sure. How often did now? Was that quite a ride for you? It's what, 3 hours? I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. Well, we also started training. He came to Los Angeles a lot.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. So I just remember. I think Bruce was in some classes somewhere. So you know, Master Kids would come with the family sometimes, and we train underneath the Bank of America bank building while waiting for Bruce to get out of class. So so that was really cool. Or we train anywhere. Like he'd say, like, meet me at, you know, this relative's house, or meet me at this hotel, or meet me at because I think the family was in town to do something, or let's go to this park today, or let's go to Guro Bill Aranda's, you know, garage. Let's, you know, I mean, I even went with them to San Diego or Thousand Oaks, or you know, we trained in Glendale a lot. So it wasn't like a particular school or a studio. It was just wherever we can train.
Wherever you could find a place. Okay. Yeah. We got the vid here, so this is.
Oh, it's
yeah,
probably. I don't think I've seen it before.
No,
is this
I'm not sure. Guru Brandon sent it to me. He thought you would enjoy it, so
okay.
There we go.
Oh my gosh!
So obviously this is.
I looked so young back then.
Yeah, this is old.
Wow! Oh, thank you, Guro Brandon.
Yeah, it was very nice of him. I'm guessing that's Bruce. I'm guessing. I think.
Mr. Ricketts.
That's But I think before that, I think it was Bruce.
Oh.
I think that was a hat on, but I think Brandon mentioned that was Bruce.
Oh, I love this so much. Yes, like I was saying, he always videotaped me. Like there's a ton of, but I've never seen any of the videos.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of footage. They got a ton of footage.
Oh, this is so great. I love it.
Aki's footwork. That's nice. Wow. That's the Ricketts, the Apollo. Okay.
So cool.
There was a hat on. Okay, yep.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? Oh no. I mean, it was very nice of him to send. Yeah. You know. So, what do you think of that? This Brandon, huh? What do you think, huh? What do you think What do you think?
He's amazing. Yes, I saw.
What do you think? I mean, 28 years old, trying to do what he's doing. You know, I mean, who do you think he is? I'm just kidding.
Amazing. He's amazing. Shoot like that.
Yeah, I can't. I know. I agree. I can't say enough things about him. Although he owes me a flyer, November 5th. But yeah, he's just amazing, isn't he? In so many
Yes.
ways, you know.
Sorry, can I just, it's my daughter. Let me just tell her I'm on the.
Oh yeah, no worries. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh my
It's
gosh.
a family affair.
Oh, okay. One second. Let me. How do I just text her? So I.
Got
Yeah, she's my teen daughter. I'm on. Can't talk. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So you had obviously you had a gap of time before you were training KI. I mean,
Yes.
you how long did you again, was it like a few years with GM Ricketts?
Yes, I think it was a few years, and then I got pregnant in 2008 or something. So then I obviously kind of had to stop training. So yeah, I trained with him for a few years. Oh, thank you, Brandon. I like all that video. That was so cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do that everywhere. He would just call and just say like, meet me here, meet me there, or meet me wherever. And that was really fun.
Yeah, that's wow. That was a treasure what he sent there. So all right, yeah. So obviously, you had a family and what have you. So and then so it was the first time you kind of got back into it was when you saw him in his recent visit to San Diego. Was that kind of?
Yes. Well, actually, after he passed away, I think it was in 2010. It was like that. Those years were kind of crazy just for me personally because my dad passed away in 2009, then my grandpa in 2010, and then Master Ricketts in 2010, I believe. And so, sorry, what was the question? I was just like,
No, I'm just saying. So I mean, with your family going on and all that, so far as you reintegrating yourself back into KI training, was it when you saw him just recently in San Diego?
Oh yes, sorry. I was saying like right after he passed away, I trained I believe with Bruce and Brandon a couple times like in San Diego after that.
Oh, before, okay.
Yeah, but then there was a big gap, and then in that big gap, I started training a bunch of other things like Wing Chun. I trained Bagua, like all these other things, and then also too continuously like with my uncle. He was like probably the most consistent in my entire training. But then recently, since Guro Brandon started teaching again, and I saw that he was coming to the States. Yeah, I immediately I'm like, I want to go see him. So it was yeah, I went to San Diego to see him, and then that's when I saw you.
That was fun.
Yes.
So he's hopefully gonna bring him out in spring.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, and then see who else perhaps wants to piggyback for as if they want to also bring them to whatever. I think maybe Arnold maybe in Atlanta, or maybe he goes back out to San Diego. I'm not sure, but I'd like to definitely get him on the East Coast. You know what I mean? So.
What's really cool about training with Guro Brandon now is like he really breaks down like all of the movements and refines like everything that I've learned in the past, because like what I learned from his dad, it just feels like it was just all kind of, I think I've said it before, like downloaded into me, like just the movements and everything. But Brandon is able to really like explain, why you do certain movements and and just like refining the different angles and all of that, and why it's used and so on and so forth. So he's really like been able to offer like a refreshing approach to learning cauliflower from his dad. So it's amazing. I love it.
I think for his age, I think he's doing incredible.
Yeah.
Leading a whole faction, if you will, of KI under his father, and you know what I mean, and kind of, I think he's doing an exemplary job. And I just like the freedom, like he doesn't. he makes allotment for your body type. You know, if you're long, tall like me, and he knows, so I don't have to, weigh is, it's not weigh is weigh. You know what I mean? There's the flexibility that you're going to do different things based on your body type, your past experience. He lets that bleed through, and so that's refreshing. If he doesn't, not trying to everybody in line, that robotic. So I think that's nice too. That whether obviously it's going to look like some of the definitive aspects of his sanction, the hip rotations, more the boxing strikes and what have you, and the difference in footwork from footwork from maybe the other factions. But I like that flexibility.
Yes, I think that's part of like it's just the old school way of teaching is they teach you according to your body type, your agility, your the way you move and everything, and so it's very interesting that he says that too, because it's true. It's like you'd fight differently if you're a tall guy versus like a shorter person, and you have to adjust. And some moves that you would maybe a taller person would do, you can't pull off as like a shorter person, or like a person that's not as quick as another person, so it's becoming very like, individualized, but then, still keeping that same core movements. Like,
that's well said. I think that's fair. Yeah. So you're continuing training with him. Via online, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had training last Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. Yeah, Tuesday. So okay. Yes, when I talked to you, I trained with him right after.
Oh, that's right. Right after the test run. Yeah, right. Yeah. He's that's great. He's picking up market share. He's picking up students. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Anyone would be so lucky to learn from him. So
yeah. I think it's only going to grow. I really do. I think it's I think for a number of reasons. I think it's going to grow. Some which I'm not going to say on the show here, but I think he's going to grow for a number of reasons. Yeah. So is this something you want to now that you really like what you, so to speak, what you found that you really like, you're going to try to pursue this as long as humanly possible? Is that
pursue like calling
KI
or
the training with the KI?
Yeah, of course. Like there's it's just there's still like a lot to be learned. I think last Tuesday he broke down like abecedario. I know I'm saying it all wrong, but all of those movements. Because I just remember training that with his dad, but we just do it, like one or like two movements, like four movements, like it was just ingrained in my body to do those kinds of things. But with Brandon, like he breaks it down like, okay, this is 1 through 6, and this is 1 and why we do this, and like the 2 movements or 3 movements, and then so it's nice that it's packaged more like as a method or a system more. So it's nice because I'm learning it both ways, like just and all the little tweaks he's made to it and adjusted from his dad too. So very cool.
So, but did you find parallel similarities in their approach from the father?
Yes. Yes. There's some core things, but Brandon has really dissected it a lot, and has like I guess presented it as a like more of an overview kind of thing, like instead of little pieces that I learned here and there, like he kind of packages it well, and explains like this is why, and this is number 1 through 6, and etc. So
no, I think it's I think it's nice. I don't think there's too much aspect on memorization. Like they have the series, but the 4 movements. I think those are great because it gets us to acclimated to more likely to pull them off because you're constantly practicing them, and it's only form movement, so it's not like a focus on the memorization really, but more
Right.
rather the form, the placement. So
Yes.
I think those are great.
Yes.
The ABCs, when they start getting up there, man, it's like you got 8, 9, 10. I'm trying. So, I think I have to refresh 11 and 12. Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah. So so you're getting ABCs, you single
Yes.
stick theories.
Yes, or just blade. What else? Like footwork, stuff like that.
It's fun stuff. Yeah. So all right, but now there's a few other folks that you've trained within FMA because
Mhm.
now somebody made a comment in FMA discussion. I think it was in regards to the Campo and San
Oh,
Miguel.
yes,
Uh,
yes. Okay.
okay, so you practicing that a little as well?
Yes. I've been training too with I guess Maititudo Ramon Rubia for a while now. Gosh, yeah, it started way back in the 2000s too. I mean, not so like intensely. I train with them like here and there throughout the years. And he was actually in San Diego this year, so I train with him, in San Diego. But then I usually train with him at his house in Buena Park of it, or near Disneyland. So yeah, and I think the last time I did was maybe a few months ago. But I'd go there. I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 or 1 p.m. and then we'd just be in the garage, and then I wouldn't leave until like 10 p.m. But we forgot to like drink or eat or anything. It's just so we're just like talking and dissecting, or he's teaching me like martial arts, going over the movements, sparring, like blade work, everything. And so it just gets so intense, and he's so passionate about everything that like I said, we forget to eat the whole time, forget to drink the whole time, and it's just so like engaging and locked in. But yes, it's San Miguel, like the footwork and everything, and also like De Campo, Uno, dos, tres, and yeah, that it's amazing to flow with him too. He's very he's very intellectual, and he like breaks down every single thing like to a T. And the one thing I learned from him too, just as a basic principle and concept, is like palm up, palm down. Like he uses that I guess principle a lot. But yeah, what I learned from De Campo, Uno dos tres, is I think that one was like from the scabbard, like learning how to like draw and use your blade. That, but I mean, there's a lot more to it too. But yeah, he tries to break it down. When I train with everyone, I always have to come with my. I always have to just like take everything out of my mind and just be super open to like download like all the material. So sometimes like yeah, I don't like remember it verbatim, or I don't. But like when I actually get to like train with them, I just feel the movements, and I could just get right into it and move like in that style.
San Miguel was. I did a little San Miguel. You ever heard Tom Bizzio?
No.
He was one of the original New York guys under Guy. So Bill McGrath, Tom Bizzio, it's kind of like a Brad Pack, Sayoc, Atienza's father. They were all the New York kind of clique. And after his tenure with Guy, he went to San Miguel. And it's really different. I found it really different from the other Dose Paris in that, I mean, there was some blade in there and all that. But it was really interesting. For what I saw of it, it was enjoyable. And then you mentioned the compo, so obviously heavily on the stick in there.
Actually, it's like blade, which
So the original,
starting to like recently, yes, it was like a lot of stick before, like many years, but recently he's been showing me like blade work and just
From it? Okay, all right.
movements with like just everything is about the blade now. So yeah.
Did he mention like Ergovitas that he trained with, or because I saw its original 1, 2, 3? So was it
I think it was oh gosh, I was just on his
Caballero's
website. I think it's
grandson?
like FMA Combatives, but it was uh I don't want to say the wrong. It's not Olavides. It's somebody else. Uh, okay. I yes. I
That's
don't.
okay. I was just curious if he was under Eric or one of the Caballero's grandson or whatever.
Yes.
You know.
No. I think Caballero. If I remember correctly. I mean, don't quote me on this. I think under him. I know he went to the Philippines for a while and trained under a lot of people because he was doing a lot of research on Filipino martial arts too.
Okay.
So I think his website's like, I mean, if you just look him up, I think it's FMA Combatives, and it has all about like DeCampo and San Miguel.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And I think he's coming out with a book soon.
yeah, it's another system too. It fascinates me. It just time for all of it though. But
Yes.
so when did you? Okay, so when did you actually like start teaching? I mean, when did you dive into that?
Okay, so back in 2011 or 2012, we all used to train at Guro Bill Aranda's house in Glendale or the gym. And so he kept calling me like, I kept saying like, no, I don't want to teach. I'm a forever student. I just want to learn. I'm so interested in learning like about, he's like, no, to really learn something, you have to teach it because you have to understand and know how to break it down. So, so he kept like, I mean, we talked for hours, and he's trying to convince me to teach. And then, so I finally said yes, and I was very nervous, because like at that time, I felt like I'm just a forever student. I was just soaking up all these things from everyone, and so he created a whole series. It's like Chicks with Sticks series, and I guess I was the first female instructor in that. And yeah, it was very cool. So I had my first seminar. I think it was in either early 2013 or late 2012, and then that's my first start. And then I guess after that, I was asked to teach here and there, like UC Santa Barbara, just I guess like everywhere. And then recently, people have been just asking me, like the Philippine Consulate General of Los Angeles, like to do video on Filipino martial arts to I think it was for Philippine American Heritage Month or History Month. So I gave a little talk about that, and then did like some demos, like film arts. So like, and just recently, actually, maybe a few weeks ago, a group in downtown LA, nonprofit group, Filipino Worker Center, asked me to give a demo on to help with Asian hate. So it was actually a workshop on how to coming up with solutions on how to talk about and Asian hate, and find solutions for that. So they asked me to give a demo, and this is to people who don't really even know too much about Filipino martial arts. So it was very interesting. It was very
No, it is.
actually Guro. I think Guro Roberto. I called him up last minute. He contacted me for something else, and I'm like, can you help me like demo? I was
Burton?
I'm sorry.
Was it Burton?
Oh no, Roberto.
I thought you said
Yes.
Burton. Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah. Well, he'd be
Yes.
another one. I mean, that would,
Yes. So anyway, he came down, and so I taught a seminar. It was, I mean, just had a little time to teach. So So yeah, I just do that, but I don't actually have a school or anything. I don't have.
Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
mean, you just kind of so when you teach, where do you what systems are you pulling from when you teach? Is it kind of a combination of systems, or have you kind
Yes.
of made your own system per se?
Actually, what I do and what I've done, I guess, since I started teaching back in 2012, is I work with whatever people have, and I just try to get them to um, like flow a little more. Because I just remember when I first was starting out, it had a lot of um, blockages. Like in my mind, because what about if somebody came at me with a number one? What would I do? It's like 1, 2, 3, or something, or like what a number two, or like one, like, and then you try to think like, what was that movement? How, what? So what I try to teach now is just like just flowing with things naturally. So I break it down as like I don't teach a specific style. I just
Mm.
teach like maybe movements or like um, principles. And so one of them is you have uh, you can treat the attack in 3 different ways. You could actually like pass it, right? That's one movement. You can meet it, so you can like meet the
Mm.
actual movement, or you can beat it, or you can try to get there faster. But it all depends on like your timing, how how they give you how they attack you, where they attack you from, what angle they attack you from, and all that stuff is how you would then treat um, that. That's how you would like. Well, once they give you the movement, um, yeah, you would just naturally react. So that's kind of what I teach is like they pull from what they know already, and then um, yeah, we do a lot of like everyone gives like a number one, and then what would you do with that? So
Okay.
it's kind of getting people to think like outside the box a little bit in terms of like understanding where they are, where they are positioned, like you know, yeah. Anyway,
No, I got you. Yeah. Um, so, and you continue that approach this day, as far as when because you got
yes,
something coming up, right?
yes,
This
I have
Saturday.
something coming up this Saturday. I'm going to Salinas to teach again. But actually, yes,
It's,
I have this like, oh yeah, there's
there it is, right there, right?
yes, yes.
So
Under
who are you teaching with?
I'll be teaching with Grandmaster Carlito Bonjoc. I love
Oh,
him.
he's
He's a
such a
great
great
friend.
guy. I love
Oh,
him.
he's so amazing. I've had the opportunity to spend some time with him, and he's so wonderful. I'm teaching with Master Mike Cardenas. He's the one
He's supposed
who
to
brings
come
me
on.
out
We're
to like.
waiting.
I'm sorry.
He's supposed to come on. We're waiting to hear back, but he's supposed
Oh,
to come on.
nice.
So
Oh,
yeah.
he's so fantastic too.
Yeah.
He's the one who brings me out to Manteca. I think I did that. I forget. Maybe that was 2012 too when I first
Mm.
started teaching. And then who else? Like a few other people. Adrian, Francisco. Who else? Yeah. So it's always a fun time
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to Salinas to
That's
teach.
great. So it sounds like there's. So is it? It's not just gonna be FMA. It'll be other discipline styles.
Um, I think so. I
Yeah.
don't, yes. No, I think it's just FMA.
Oh, it's all just FMA.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really? Oh,
I
wow.
think it's
Okay.
just FMA.
So, I mean, because it sounds like I'm just looking at the pic here, and it's a lot of instructors. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
Yes, yes. Yeah, this
Awesome.
was under Master Michael Butts. Like he's usually the one who kind of puts a lot of this together. He's based in
Okay.
Arizona. And he used to have like huge gatherings too. Like
Mm.
he'd bring instructors out to Arizona and then have these huge gatherings. But yeah, unfortunate he asked me to come every year to teach.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah,
That's great. Wow. And that's this Saturday, correct?
yeah, that's a Saturday.
All
Yeah,
right.
I actually guess I have a basic template for um, teaching, getting people to like move. But then it all just varies. So when I ever get to the place, I either break down a movement, or it all depends on like the class, and where everyone's at. So
We got no, that's great. I hope it goes well Saturday for you.
yeah, knock on wood.
Here's this you're gonna have to show. Well, I'll just let you kind of
Okay.
take us through it, but something here to share. Here we go, and this is something looks like maybe it was fairly recent. I think, but you'll know. Okay. All right. So here it is.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So-
Well, actually explains it. I think maybe if you forward that to like minute 9, is that, yeah, minute 9.
Close quarter fighters, right? So when they practice, what do they practice? Medium range, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, just
Right?
depends
Because,
on what
right?
school though. Too,
But
because,
for
like,
us,
Are you
when we
able
say
to
close
forward
range,
it to
we
like-
say close range.
yeah,
And it shocks the hell out of people
yeah,
because they're not used to being that close,
yes,
right? But if you're gonna see a close quarter,
You actually
why
do
are
a
you
demo
training that way?
here.
Yes.
So I was like, no, we're gonna train that way. We go like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
you can
I mean, this is
control
kind of a
a lot.
long video, so I
But
don't
you
know.
can control
Are
so
you
much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the
more.
demo. Let's
Yeah.
just see your.
Because I
Oh yeah.
Well, no, she did pretty good because we were doing and
There we
boom,
go.
I got it.
Was this so? This is recent, right?
Yeah, this was over in Mexico.
A redhead Filipino.
So this is where I break down like
we already.
To meet it with my weapon.
Actually, you explain the past
So it's like,
me
you know, like I hit you before you
or to
did.
stop.
So yeah, so if you want to just give me a couple, I mean, just give me number 1, I'll just like, you know, flow with it here. So, or, I mean, same thing, I could do whatever. Again, here, go here, and then come in, and then, you know.
I got myself.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so anyway, you know, you can go here, here, like I was talking about before, like, and then here down, here down. So you can do that. So anyway, there's numerous ways to express like number 1.
And how do you then allow a student to be
Sounds
able
like
to?
it's a good sport.
What do they need before they're capable of expressing themselves?
Nothing. I mean, you know, whatever style you want. Oh, as far as Filipino martial arts,
Is that pretty much it? Wait, no.
yeah, having just the 5 basic strikes. But then again, like, there's a lot of other techniques that if you really start to break it down. For instance, like, you know, I could do here, like, and you know, you don't need a lot of force or, you know, with the knife because they're already cutting you. So, you know, you can just go like that. Like, as you would.
blade, it's just like
Yeah, you know, focus, so, and you know, whatever you want to do, yeah. So here, yeah, and then getting in, so here, or again here, this way, here, yeah, or whatever.
So very organic. All right, let's just because a lot of it then depends on what I'm doing.
Yes, so whatever.
So that was neat. So here, well, I'm
I'm
just.
gonna like react faster.
so yeah, he gave it to me faster, so I go in faster, right? So it just depends on their
But
energy.
then, you know,
Whatever
I
they
think maybe if they're going outside, I can cut in the inside, and then here.
Yeah, and what you want to do, you can either go super direct or you can just like play around a little.
Yeah.
And then you just allow
Whatever,
the students to
yes.
play off whatever they're
Cut
trying to
vital
do.
organs, or you can
So you
just
don't
like
get
kind of
stuck by
cut
thinking of like
non-vital
one,
organs and then just
2,
like
3, or 5. It's
Uh-huh.
like, you know, like I said, again, you can like if you give me number 1, I can pass it.
Right.
I can meet it, or I can beat it, which is here.
Right.
So,
So that's just the basic template, and then what you fill inside, it's your own flavor. Okay,
yeah.
you can just
And
go.
then, yeah, you can even do whatever. So here, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I probably usually like do this. I don't know. Here.
Oh,
Mm.
okay, that was different.
Whatever you give me. So, and also too, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could just straight to the, yeah, here.
yeah, that's super direct.
Mm.
just depending on where you want to put this at what time, and then what you know how to do it. How do you then blend all the other arts that you do know how to do with this basic idea?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like footwork.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So just
All right, awesome.
there are certain aspects
So
of
this
different.
was so that was neat. I mean, you know, obviously he was giving you speeding up like you mentioned
Yes.
and that and
Yeah, I love that. I'm like, just give me whatever, and
Yeah.
I work with whatever, either from a forehand, backhand, whatever movement, and you just kind of work
Yeah.
with that energy.
Yeah, that was awesome. So what's your so when you're so far as your I mean, do you have a kind of mixture males and females coming to you?
Oh yeah, I teach in all levels. Like I mean, Carson Middle School has asked me to come a couple times too. So I teach seventh graders sometimes. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow, okay.
and a lot of those were girls. So it's very cool. So yeah, women, men, anyone. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So what's your lens on sparring and the importance thereof of it?
I mean, I think it's vital to do it like in that safe environment. When you do spar like that, like it activates like some kind of something inside of you, like I guess that fight or flight response where you have to just kind of use that to spar. So yeah, I think it's you have to do that because sometimes you learn in these little segments, right? Like you learn certain movements, like whether it's just knife or you know single stick, double stick, but you can't really know how it really functions unless you actually get into a sparring situation. Yeah, is that going to be effective or not effective?
Yeah,
So
right. Be able to test
yeah.
out stuff and all that good stuff. How do you now? How do you incorporate with your students?
Smart. Well, I don't have any students, so I mean, I teach really
Oh,
seminars.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I think, but I mean, if I did, yeah, we'd probably spar. Well, actually, I kind of told myself I have to stop because I don't know if I've had a couple eye surgeries, and I don't know if it was a result of my early sparring because I had some scar tissue on my retina, so they had to like peel off some of the they had to go inside my eye, peel off some of the membrane, and et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
So I kind of told myself I stop sparring just because I'm a little bit yeah older now too, and but I do think it's important. But a funny story is, I got out of my surgery and probably waited a few months. I ended up going to my Wing Chun. I learned under Dr. Robert Chu. I guess he's written a ton of books on Wing Chun, and he's my mentor. I love him. He's also my acupuncturist, so I see him regularly too. And he's actually helping me like put together. I'm in the middle of writing the book as well. But a funny story is I had my surgery, and then a couple months later, I walk into his class just thinking because he teaches like just a few students in Wing Chun. And then, I walked into his class. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Celina's here! Like, everyone, get out your knives. Let's spar." I was like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" Like, and my daughter was anyway. So yeah, we were just in this like inside a building, whatever, where he's teaching Wing Chun. Anyway, they stopped what they're doing. They got out all their I guess plastic knives or whatever, and then I had to spar them one by one, and. Yeah, I mean, I think I got hit in the head again too. Because obviously, like you're not always going to get all the hits in. You have to take hits too. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to stop this. And I think I sparred a little bit in San Diego recently too, under the
Brandon's thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon. I actually didn't spar there, but under like Master Nar Babao. Yeah, I went to another thing with another friend, like my other friend who teaches me Bagua. he took me to this other place, and I'm like, I'm not going to spar, I'm not going to spar, and then they're like, oh, we have these metal glasses, just put them on and you can spar. And so I did. I was like, and I always tell myself like I shouldn't, but then I get that my adrenaline gets like going, and then I have to get in there and spar. So anyway,
that's all right. So how do you think overall, how can we get, I always ask this when I get female guests on here, how do you think we can go about getting more women into FMA?
I mean, I feel like let me think. I'm just trying to think of like how I got into it. I mean, I guess I was just kind of thrown into it, and then I've grown to love it. But to get more into it, I don't know. I mean, maybe just like having more female guests or instructors speak and like tell their journey. And
I think that helps. I think just giving them more of a platform for sure.
Yes.
I think also like the ones who are capable or have tenure, get them out teaching.
Yes.
I think more younger females would, I think, would perhaps initially gravitate more if there was a female teacher. Perhaps I think there's some reluctancy for females walking into a room full of guys.
Yes, actually,
I can't imagine why, but
yes, you're right. That was my hesitancy in the beginning, and that's why my uncle kind of created this like women's self-defense class, so it was less threatening for me to like enter. But once I entered, it was over. I was just in love with it. So maybe maybe that just less. I don't really know, but I think all the seminars and everything that I've gone to, or even just teaching like a middle school, the girls when I show them what could be done with martial arts, I mean, they're so like their eyes get big, and it's just like, wow, this is so cool. And unfortunately, like I don't have a school and I don't really teach regularly, but some people would come up to me and ask like, are you teaching? And when you teach, let me know, because they'd love to maybe learn from me, like as a female instructor. So maybe, I mean, actually, I was talking to Guro Roberto Pagan, I think yesterday, right? We were talking about perhaps he wanted to teach at one of the organizations that I'm involved with at their facility here in downtown LA, to maybe have more classes for people at all levels, like beginning and more advanced levels. But
I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'm not like trying to just get more. Yeah, I'm just thinking more females. Though. I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously getting them more center stage, so to speak. But I think the ones who are teachers, I think they should, or could teach, I should say, or I think they should. I think it would just. I think more to think about it. I think status quo, the ones who are certified to teach, I think should, just to get more females. You know what I mean? I hope it happens.
Yes.
I mean, but we'll see. What's your lens? So so obviously, your seminars. What's your lens just on women's self-defense? Do you think it needs to be improved upon? Do you like status quo, the model, or what do you think?
Well, I'm slated to do a women's self-defense class in January. I mean, it's more like a women's empowerment kind of seminar thing, but I mean, I feel like, to me, it's important to learn some things for self-defense. I mean, that's the reason why I got into it, because I like to travel, or just for my own safety, just know some tips or just some basics for women's self-defense. So I think it's important. I think women should learn how to defend themselves, and
I know, especially today's world, what we're reading and seeing on a daily basis, like New York City subways and
Actually, I was in New York for 5 or 6 weeks over the summer, and I remember I just walk around the city by myself a lot, because my daughter was training ballet, but everyone, even my Wing Chun teacher, he's texting me all these like statistics, like don't go out alone, like don't, all these things. And but I did, but I always had to be aware, and I think that's like one of the main things I talk about in women's self-defense is just awareness, just understanding, trusting your instincts. If there's some weird feeling like over there, like don't go over there, like cross the street and go over there. Like first and foremost, just get away.
Yeah, I mean, are you on somebody's radar? Somebody watching you? Are they paying particular attention to you? You know what I mean? Yeah, a ton of stuff like that. But the city is just getting like.
No, it's intense. And then in the middle in July, I guess there was a warning from the consulate general there, like just to be mindful because there was like some attacks on Asians. Just kind of close to where I was. So
we got a question here for you.
Oh, yes.
Do you feel the culture of schools are inviting for females?
Maybe it's changed, but I guess when I was doing it in the beginning, not so much. Like I guess you were like if you were part of this, like maybe you did martial arts like starting when you were little or something and you got used to it, but it's like hopefully that has the culture has changed a little bit. But I don't know why it didn't bother me so much, but I mean it would probably bother me now. But sparring, we'd have like the same, everyone would share the gross same headgear, then the sweaty sweat from the other guy's thing, you just wipe it off. And then I don't know why I didn't care about that so much then. Now I'm probably like,
it's keeping you out now.
Yeah, so
you're
just
not even touching it. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like I guess I was a tomboy growing up, so that didn't really bother me. But yeah, I mean, as far as I do see like more females now these days. When I go to places, I see like still a handful. I see like a handful of females, but I mean, I guess it could be more inviting, and I guess the way it could be more inviting is if like perhaps more females are teaching.
I think that's the key. More, I think that's the key.
Yeah.
I think if they saw that they were more presence of female teachers, I think that would be more inviting.
Yes.
I think, and along with promotional. I mean, the thing is, we're getting killed. Promotionally speaking, we're getting killed by MMA and BJJ. I mean, we're not even, as far as like advertisement, infomercial. I mean, we're getting destroyed. I mean, by that, you know what I mean? So I think it's due to several things. You know what I mean? But however, though, I think a strong presence of female teachers, I think that would really help. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Danny Terrell asking another question, Coach. All right, what changes would you like to see?
Me in like for invite.
Yeah, so I think he's saying. So he's piggybacking off his first question to you. So he's saying, what changes would you like to see?
I mean, definitely, I would love to see more female practitioners. Just because I just think it is important for females or anyone really, but like females to feel empowered by knowing how to protect yourself. And, it helps with confidence. It helps with like just everything, I think. So, I mean, I would love to see more females, participating in martial arts in general, but like martial arts. But I guess too, it's like when I first started, it hurts, So it's like physically, like it's not everyone could really take that beating, I guess, in the beginning, or just the way my uncle taught.
But I think that was isolated. You're with your uncle.
Yes, that's
relative. There's an in-house environment.
Yes.
My feeling is the average female is not going to go into school, and I don't think the school's going to be that successful.
Right.
You know, so I think that was your uncle trying maybe instill toughness in you or whatever, or you know, took it for granted that you're a relative.
Always trying to like make me think more and challenge myself all the time.
Well, absolutely, you did. I mean, whatever you still you did, it sounds like you did a great job. You know what I mean? Even though if maybe it was a little rough in the beginning. You know, so,
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, he actually now he's like my only consistent kind of like person that I train with like throughout the years. Now it's like insane. I mean, he's every time I meet with him, he just tries to download as much information as possible. But now, like, I'm dropping him off at his house, and then we're sitting and chit chatting a little bit before he leaves. He throws like a punch at me, like so now it's just like I have to block, or I have to like So then he just like be talking and then just throw a random punch, and you just kind of have to like figure it out.
right. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so now, and then also too, when we train, like I understand him like so much better than, when I first started training, and I understand like all those little details and everything. And so now we can just move and flow, and it's just so beautiful. Like I totally understand and get it like now, but before then, like, it was just very difficult for me to grasp.
Yeah, just see, one of the things they tell us in school is clean environment is a yeah, nice environment. That's good. Yeah, you go in there and there's stuff all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah, that could be a deterrent for sure if you're bringing your daughter or something.
That's true, but I've trained in all kinds of environments. But that could be a factor.
I think so.
Yes, so, actually, that one, lack of egos. That's a good one. Because yes, I've been around that as well. Like it's just, but sometimes like some of the most amazing martial artists I've ever met are just the nicest people and more like unassuming. Like you never know, and so sometimes like people put on a rough exterior to maybe anyway, I'm not even gonna say, but what I'll say is like some of the most amazing martial artists I've ever met, they're just the most nicest, humblest, joking, people that I've met. But then when they get into the movements, it's like, oh my gosh, like I want to learn from you. Yes, actually, just like Master Ricketts, like he was one of them. Another one was like one of my internal martial arts teachers from Hawaii, from Dragon Gate Sanctuary. It's like he's such a nice guy, acupuncturist and everything. Chris Matsuo, and then also too, like the talking about egos, like the people who some of my instructors who just say like, just call me Chris, or just call me Ray, or just call me whatever. Like they don't have that name, they don't need to have like a title or anything. And sometimes like those people are just, wow, like you see them move and you see what they have, like, and it's just so beautiful, but so powerful too. So anyway, just my personal experience.
Yeah, I'm not into the title. I just Dean. It's just Dean. You know what I mean? I was born. You know what I mean? I wasn't born with a prefix. You know. So, what's your favorite weapon to train in, or combination thereof?
Yes.
And what is your favorite to teach?
For some reason, I gravitate towards blade, obviously. But I mean, I do like stick and all that stuff too, because you just have to learn. You have to learn you have to know all about your weapons, like the benefits, and then the what is it? You have to know your weapon, and so so I like to train in everything. But I think my favorite is knife.
The knife?
And blade, knife.
Same,
It's just so like I feel like it's just natural to me. It's just like yeah, it's just so natural to flow with knife for me. I don't know if it's like the influence of Guro Felix or not, but I've always
Lameco's knife is outstanding. I
yeah.
mean, you know what's funny? You know what my teachers told me? Are you familiar with Tom Sodas, Amok? Um, he's okay. So he runs an organization called Amok. It's basically a knife system. There's other stuff, but predominantly it's knife.
Yeah.
And he told me this once, and it really stuck with me, and I think it's so true. Knife is in our DNA. He said.
Yes.
And you know, when I first heard it, I'm like, and then when I got to thinking about it, like,
Yes.
You might have something there. You know what I mean? But yeah, knife is in our DNA.
Yes.
If you give somebody a knife, they're gonna know to just. I'm not saying they're gonna be the most, efficient, but they're gonna know, where to go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's in our DNA. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's my favorite. I love to teach that. I mean, I love knife. However, funny thing is I don't carry a knife. I don't have but instructors or people give me knives like all the time. So I have a collection of knives, but I don't carry
What
it.
about when you're taking your kids with you? What about if you have your kids with you? You're going out and you know there could be a place of unfamiliarity.
Yeah.
Like, would you take anything? Would you with you?
A pen. This is like my
Your tactical pen?
my weapon of choice. Or like in my car, I just have a nondescript kitchen utility scissors that I have in my So I mean, I
be 3 foot long.
no, just the utility scissors that So I don't. Yeah, I love training in it. I love all that stuff, but I
don't carry either. But I tell you though, I bring my kids because I have 14-year-olds.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
I do bring it. That's the only time though. If I'm by myself, I don't carry anything with me. But if I know I'm going to a place that's unfamiliar, that has a parking garage where kind of stuff can go wrong, I do. You know what I mean? God forbid that. You know what I mean?
No,
I have a gun. I'm not licensed for a gun.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not into that either. Although I've been to ranges and stuff, but yeah, it's just so interesting. Like my teachers were just like, you never know when you're gonna need a box cutter. like no, it's okay. I mean,
I hate to think about it,
but yeah, but
I tell you though, it's just the way things are today. I mean,
it's a little crazy.
You turn the news and what's going on, and it's
a little nutty.
People are unraveling. It's just hearing more and more violent stuff occurring. So I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, although I don't carry. I mean, I train in that and I love it. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm passionate about it. But like, on the one hand, too, I don't want to hurt anybody. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I know that I can. But then I don't want to do that. Like if I don't have to, I'd rather just run, go the other way. Just if I had to, like, just hit some fatal areas and just run. That's like
I'm with you and I agree with you. I tell my students, I mean, sure, egress, equalizer, but ethical obligation. Like you mentioned, the 3 E's. What if you got your loved ones? You can't run. You have an ethical obligation to stay there and protect them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's why the only reason why I carry is when I have them with me.
Yeah.
Because God forbid that obligation where I can't run, I have to, you know what I mean? But mine is them. Absolutely. I'm going to do everything I can, just not to, because of legality, lawsuits. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? It's just too much to lose, but yeah. So what are your future goals for yourself, system, whatever you got going on? What are your future goals?
Well, right now, just like hanging with my uncle, learning as much still from him as possible. He's still, all these years of training with him, he still has like things to like show me, it's still like like all the things like there's still like lots to learn from him and from everyone. So number one, still continue to learn and be a student of many, because I feel like people have a lot to share. And then this book, I'm coming out with a book soon, so finishing that.
So you got the book?
Yeah, yes, I'm in the process of writing. My teacher, Robert Chu, Dr. Robert Chu, my Wing Chun teacher, he's written a ton of books, and he's written a ton of books on acupuncture too. So he's like, helping me just get that together. So, and he's been encouraging me for like many years, but finally, like he's helping me like get all that like together.
I think that's fantastic. So so you got a book out. When do you think when do you think it'll be out?
I was hoping like soon, this month, but very, very soon. Maybe, I guess now that it's this month, maybe I'll shoot for the beginning of next year or something. Yeah.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah. So that and just more seminars. I got like a couple more things like in the works. So,
yeah. Oh, that's awesome though. You got a book. Wow. That's fantastic.
And now that you mentioned it, sorry, like maybe I should start teaching regularly. My daughter's a little bit older now. It's been so crazy in my life because like I'm a mom. I run my own business. I have a lot going on, so I never really wanted to commit to just like teaching regularly because I don't know what I'll be doing. But now that things are maybe more settled, I probably should try to start.
You should, just because, I think if anything, for the female component, for the female aspect, you know what I mean? The community, like you could probably be a great service to females that, even if you got them involved, you know what I mean?
I would love that.
That alone, I think would be really neat. So if you can, I think you should, you know what I mean? Yeah. But and here's the nice thing too with Brett, you can be selective. You can take who you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you, you're like, I'm kind of busy, but I could, you can take who you want.
Yeah, that's just like my uncle, because he's probably one of maybe two of people who've really like learned from Papa Jack Santos, but he doesn't. I mean, for him, it's very sacred, and so he says that he doesn't care to share. I mean, just me, or it's just sometimes I it's wonderful, like I'm receiving that gift, but then on the other hand, it's like for me. And he vehemently disagrees. Like, it's just unfortunate that it's not being like shared more, because he can explain that better than I ever could. So, so that's unfortunate, because then that lineage kind of just
there's another one
with everyone, and like, but there, he's okay with that. Like he doesn't care if it goes to the grave with them, and.
I know, but it's sad though. Like we were talking about earlier, like how I think in a decade or so, Lameco is going to be on the ropes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Less people, you know what I mean? But here it is. Jack Santos. I mean, like, unless there's I just don't know it. I think I would have heard by now. I'm not saying there's not, but as far as like active instructors teaching his stuff, I mean,
just my uncle, and then there's one other person that was with them. He's in Hawaii.
Hawaii, okay.
But I don't even think he actively.
He's even active, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's sad. These systems, and they go, and they're, they're gone. What I mean? They're just, that's sad.
So I'm torn. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to receive that gift of passing down that knowledge, but then again I'm just like sad that but it's his choice, obviously. Like I respect that. Like doesn't share it or want to share it, because he's had many opportunities, many interviews in the past, many things, but
Like
he's
that. Yeah.
so very guarded with that information. So I don't know. I think it was just ingrained in him too when he was younger, training under him, because they really used it for survival. And so, like, you don't share that knowledge, like you have it for yourself to protect yourself. But I mean, I guess, yeah. So, you know, maybe he has that mentality of
Doesn't want to see any commercialization of it or whatever. I get it. I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, this has been a joy. I really appreciate you coming on. You know.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's what I do from here is I download it, and you know, to YouTube FMA discussion.
Okay.
And what I can do is, once it's downloaded, I post it on the groups, and I'll post it on your walls. Well, you know.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Well, keep going. What you're doing is, get out there and start teaching. I mean, get some more female. Yeah, you never know, right?
Yes.
And like you'll learn so much and have a greater depth of. Yeah, I mean, teaching does. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Coach Dan, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and go look on the book. You know.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Hopefully I'll pull it together soon. You know how that is sometimes, but I just need to really get that together. It's been something in the works for years, but
you'll get it. Yeah,
I'll get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll see it on. I'm sure we'll see it on social media. Selena, Duffy's book is out. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you again, and you take care.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you for having me on. I really
absolutely anytime. Well, hopefully, if Brandon comes back out, we'll see each other again in training.
Yeah. Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, we gotta bring him back out. We can't just do one and done. So
yes. Oh, it would be wonderful. Yeah, I was lucky to have a few privates with him when he was down. So nice. So awesome. Hope to see him again soon.
Oh, you will. Yeah, we just have to make it happen. That's all.
Yes.
We gotta get him back out.
Yes.
All right, Selena, you take care.
Okay, you too. Thanks again. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that wraps up 336. Who is next? We got two guys, folks coming up. Also, in addition, join seminars, $23. Get exposed to different stuff. You're supporting the community, and I believe to Sunday, 16th, Tuan Jack and Guro Celina, I think, are collaborating, if I'm not mistaken. But all these flyers, they're all pinned in FMA discussion. You just need to go there, and on top, you're going to see them all going across and all that. So there's one the 16th. Actually, I got a list here. The 5th, there's something going on. Who else is going on? I know Coach Danny's got one coming up. But again, I'm drawing a blank here as far as the exact dates, but definitely just go in FMA discussion. You're going to see them pinned, and as well as other groups. I mean, these guys have been kind of broadcasting them all over the place. And if you belong to any FMA group, I'm sure you've seen them. But I know as far as what's coming up is the 16th, and that's going to be Tuan Jack and I believe Tom Pena, if I'm not mistaken, 16th Sunday. I don't recall the time, but yeah. So again, $23. You jump on these things, and you might walk away with a couple nuggets. And in addition, you're really supporting the community, and for the folks who are doing this, believe me, none of us are making a killing doing this. Okay, so yeah, so if you can, plus it'd be enjoyable to see you. The 30th, yeah, okay, so you're after, I believe you're the next one, Coach, after Tuan Jack and Guro Tom. And then we start getting into November already. Wow. And we got Paul Rubio and Bronco. So, that's who's going to be next. Oh, my gosh. I was drawing a blank. I got onto the online seminars. Paulo is coming on Monday. And if I'm not mistaken, he's got to get back to me as far as the time. He's going to be doing demos. I guess he's got a partner and everything. We're just solidifying a time on Monday. So catch that. But Monday is going to be Paulo. That is the next episode. So that I'm looking forward to. And getting GM Poggy back on. So Paulo, if you're still watching, I just need a time on Monday. I could do late morning, early afternoon, whatever works for you. I think that's the last message I sent to you. Let me just double check here where I got you. Okay, yeah. So my last message to you was I can make something work for sure. And I just asked you basically if you had a preference as far as late AM or early afternoon. So whatever works for you on that, just let me know. But yeah, and he's going to be doing demos. Exciting. All right, folks, that wraps it up. And again, stay tuned. Look for that flyer for Paulo coming on Monday. And this Sunday, 2 Jack, Guro Celina. Check it out if you can. $30, I think. And again, it's Sunday. I don't recall the time, but go to FMA discussion. You'll see it pinned. All right, folks. I will see you there early afternoon before 5. You can certainly do that. Just give me, like, if you want to do 3, I can make that work. So just shoot me, what do you think will work? Either 2, 3, whatever you prefer. Won't be a problem. All right, folks. Have a good night. Thank you for those who watched, jumped in, commented. And I'll see you next time.